In this lesson, we try to find out how much is 4 times 6 using the 5 times table. Now, we have done a couple of things like this before. You have 4 times 6 means you have 4 rows and 6 columns, and where they intersect you have many little squares. So 4 rows, each of 6 little squares, and 6 columns, each of 4 little squares, like this. These are the 4 rows. Each one has 6 little squares, and it can be viewed as 6 columns, and each one has 4 little squares. Whichever way we look at it, either 4 times 6 or 6 times 4, they must be equal. You have seen this. Now the question is, can we count 4 times 6 in terms of 5s? That is, we know 5 times table very well. So there are 4 rows here. Here we need to have one more row. Where do we get this extra row? We convert the 6th column, that is the last column. We get rid of this, like this, okay, like this, like this, like this, and like this. We get rid of this last column. But remember, there are 4 little squares, and we remember to write them here, as the 5th column. So let me write the 5th column, 5th row. So in this, let me draw this row line complete. Okay, now remember, this is the first little square, this is the second little square, this is the third little square, okay, and the fourth little square. That's all we have only here. So we actually don't have anything extra. So let me get rid of this. Okay. Now what do we see here? What do we see here? We have the 6th column of 4 little squares is removed, and these 4 little squares are added into the 5th row. So we have converted the last row, that is the 6th row, into column and appended it to the 4 rows that we have. We have converted the 6th column of 4 little squares into 5th row of 4 little squares. Now what do we get? So we have got, broadly speaking, we have 5 columns only left now, and you have 5 rows, but it's the last row and last column which are affected. Okay, so this would have been almost 5 rows and 5 columns, but for this little tiny piece here, So if we had this entire shape, this would have been a square of 5. So let me put that square of 5. It has 5 times 5. First 5, second 5, third 5, fourth 5. The fifth 5 is not complete, but let me write this as 5 5s, remembering that we have actually counted this little square, the 5th little square here, either here or here. It's not there at all, but we have written them anyway, 5 times 5, because we know how much is 5 times 5. But it's definitely short of 5 times 5. 4 times 6 did not have this little square. So if you write 5 times 5, obviously this little square has to be added. So from this 5 times 5, this is bigger than 4 times 6, we know that, and we have to actually take away, not add. So I'll remove this symbol here, get rid of this plus, and put a negative sign, and put this negative sign right in the middle. Okay. Now how much do we take out? Just one little square. So I can say 1 times 1 is to be taken out. Now how much is 5 times 5? We know it is 2 tens and a 5. And from this we have to take away this 1 times 1. Now, this is 2 tens, and 5 minus 1 is 4. So 2 tens plus 4, and we know we can get rid of this t plus and write 2 tens and 4, right, like this. We don't have to write 10 plus. So 2 tens and 4. So 4 times 6 or 6 times 4 is simply 2 tens and 4. Thank you.